Burning the midnight oil in Danbury. Right now, the city council is debating whether to give some city police officers the right to act as federal immigration and customs enforcement agents.
The idea has caused widespread fear and resentment in a city that has a large population of undocumented workers. The ordinance would give police officers access to ICE records, and proponents say this would allow them to weed out the most violent criminals who are here illegally.
But opponents say such an ordinance would strike fear in the city, causing people to move out of Danbury. Currently, more than a dozen cities across the U.S. have similar ordinances.
And as the council was debating inside, a crowd of thousands held its own street-side public hearing.
And they gave their voices to the vote, and loudly. Fox 61's Lori Perez has more on the meeting outside the meeting.
A swelling crowd of thousands united tonight, raising their voices to speak, they say, for thousands more silenced by fear.
That this will mean that all illegals will be out of the city in 2 months.
A fear that any and all undocumented people will be rounded up and deported. Danbury's mayor has repeatedly said local police trained as ICE agents would target only undocumented people committing crimes. And that sounds okay to resident Leslie Shabu.
If somebody's working hard and they're trying to make a way and a new life for themselves, there's nothing wrong with that, but we don't need any more criminals.
But most of this crowd is not hearing it.
Not after the Danbury 11, not after what I've seen in Florida with the young man that was returned to Cuba and a SWAT team came in. I don't buy that. I think it's the tip of the iceberg.
I'm not afraid. I know the implications. I'm already suffering the implications.
Implications of what many here call an anti-immigrant environment that's losing them business, giving Danbury a bad name, and building tension in the city. Implications of statements from other Danbury residents not quite as diplomatic as the mayor.
This is my city. This is my city hall, and I am outraged that these people have the nerve to come here and try to do this in this country when they don't belong here.
Thank you, Jeff. There's late word that a deal has been reached that will have Danbury police working with federal immigration agents to crack down on illegal immigrants.
Many shopkeepers closed their doors today in protest and demonstrated this evening in front of City Hall. News Channel 8's Annie Rourke covered that event. She's live in Danbury. Annie?
Ann and Ted, it was a marathon meeting tonight, 4 hours long, but the Danbury Common Council finally voted to pass the controversial ICE program, totally ignoring the pleas of thousands of protesters who had come out here to plead their case and try to change their minds.
We pay taxes. We pay.
And they say they are willing to work hard for a better life.
My parents came here to give me an opportunity, and it's just really sad to see that they're being treated as criminals.
Martha Perez's family came here from Mexico. We're told there's an estimated 20,000 undocumented workers in Danbury who spend approximately $250 million here each year. And Perez says her story is no different than anyone else's.
The American dream, I think, consists more of coming here and having the ability to work and really a chance to establish yourself.
She's among more than 1,000 people who crowded the streets outside the Danbury City Hall to protest a possible new immigration policy. The passion and purpose was matched inside. Speaker after speaker pleaded with the Common Council not to pass the ordinance and establish a partnership with ICE, the Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Local police would be trained by federal officials and have the authority to stop, question, even detain anyone they suspect of being here illegally. The council was reminded of the economic impact with a business boycott here earlier in the day. This entire block on Main Street was shut down, each store displaying a pink sign in solidarity with the immigrants. But none of it was enough to persuade these politicians. The motion passed by a 19-2 vote.
I'm absolutely stunned. Several incidents over the past couple of weeks. Immigrants have been stopped for whatever reason.
I'm so happy it passed. We need to be protected. It's not a bad thing that is happening because these people are immigrants.
Now, Now, city leaders say that this ICE issue has been blown totally out of proportion. They say this will not be used against day laborers or for housing violations, only for things that are involving criminal activity. They say they do plan to form a task force to work with the community, but protesters here tell us this will create a climate of fear here. We're live in Danbury. I'm Annie Rourke, News Channel 8.